Ashefo and Neso Media chain. Na me mamu akwaba eba mabrabo akwentu so ewo RBTV. Na senya da mekano dwumadie yi eye dwumadie bia ye ne etitiri mu hia na omunam omabrabo so etu yemfo na omasan so akyerɛkyerɛ yen kwan a yemfa so ewo abrabo mu. Midia ne KofiSeth kumsen na wona wo so yanse eye Miran Radio Liderator Ministry and a Max Media. Na ende no mene otitiri bi eba bedi nkomo. Na sa otitiri eye ohene a obeka na brabo mu nsem ede etu yemfo. Na ne dia ne Nana Kwabena Acheampong. Me nsem rekra no mekɔ ne nkyɛn na wakyerɛ ahennie no bebia odi na wasanso enam na brabo so etu yemfo. Nana, you are welcome to RBTV.
Bidase beba na Monica Sasso. Begin Nana Kwabena Acheampong, Nkosohene of Apesokubi traditional area. Now, in my private life, the simple name is Felix Acheampong. Sometime in March 1969, I was born here in Accra at Bukum, in a community called Mamona. That was where I was born. At about 6, I left Accra, or I was sent to Apesokubi to my grandmom to live there and school there. So that is how today I've become a chief of Apesokubi. At 6, I was there, up to 17. And in Apesokubi, that is where I had my primary school. I did my elementary till I finished. I was a very brilliant student. If I will recall, my memory will set me right. Between 1 to 4, I'm there. The 1 is a reserve for our class or school prefect. So that one, you can't take it from him. So 2, 3, 4, I am there. Always. Academically, I was very sound. Whilst in Apesokubi, I was with my grandmom, and along the line, she passed away. So the mantle shifted to an auntie by name Mama Koko. In fact, she took care of me, I think, class 6 up to then time elementary school, Form 4. We had a lot of fun, you know. She introduced me to salt selling. I have sold salt before. I've sold kerosene in bottles before. I've been a farmer before. In all this space, up to about 17 years, when I completed my elementary school. I want to sing one song in Ghana, because why I chose to sing this song is because I've passed through a lot. You know, tender age at 6, sent from Accra to Apesokubi. Then time, no light, no water. I'm in a typical village, but I was able to make it. In Ghana, we have a song which is a traditional song which they say, "It's a bafo, it's a bafo, it's a bafo cry." They say, definitely, there is an end to every situation. There is an end to every situation. So when I finished my elementary school, you know, the scenario in which I went to Apesokubi, tender age, in fact, I lost control over my family in Accra. I couldn't just remember even one person's name because I was young and I left to Apesokubi. So when I finished elementary school, my auntie by then knew that I have a family in Accra, and she also didn't know the exact location of my family. So I was puzzled by an auntie who was also in the community who do business from Accra to Apesokubi to Accra those days. So I was given to this auntie, and then she brought me to Zongolene. Zongolene used to be a place where the people of Apesokubi, once in a week, they meet to get information from the village, and then information from Accra to the village, to that's where you go and then you get it from. That time there was no telephone, So this is how I came back to Accra. Upon completion of my elementary school, I didn't spend more than 1 month, and my auntie passing me back to Accra. At Zongole, because my father's location was not known, I have to be in Zongole for 4 days before my father came. And then when he came, it's like, wow, Kwabena, Waba. So there and there, he went to the caretaker, and then they had a talk, and then he took me to his home. Then it was Sankara Circle. That is where my father was living. So when I joined my father, after a week, then he took me to my grandmom's side. That is my mother's side. And it was a fun. I mean, tears was coming. For 10 years, I was lost. So my grandmother quickly hugged me. She prayed. She was so overwhelmed that our lost grandson finally has been brought back. My grandmother took me on, and the message he gave my father was that no, a man cannot take care of a young man like me. So she, the grandma, would prefer to help and take care of me. So that arrangement was done, and I was sent to my grandmom at Odoko. Then I joined my grandma. She was a businesswoman, a petty trader at Cantonmanto, near now Ghana Commercial Bank, Cantonmanto. That is where they used to sell. So I followed her some few times, and one day the son, in the person of Bratiti, my grandmother invited him to come. And when he came, say, "This is your nephew." Now, me say me can crack. Eke na onye you binu ene Acheampong idane wo yo ne le akele ba. And tears was rolling before the family. I saw it and I was not comfortable. So what the grandman said is that take him to where you are and assist him. That was the genesis of my life. So arrangements were done, and I was moved to my uncle's place, which is La. That time we used to call it Labadi. Now it's La. And the precise place we live was near the La Beach Hotel. It has a shelter there, and we call this very spot Tea Club. So those of you who know Tea Club, you bear with me. It is now even still Tea Club, and it's just opposite the La Palm Beach Hotel. I lived there for close to 17 years. It was there that I had my secondary school, my A level, and the O level. He taught me a lot. Whilst in school, I used to canvass for him. Sales officer, marketing officer, administrator, writing letters and all this. So this one shaped me up a lot. In fact, I was very, very shaped up. Upon completion of my sixth form, I chose to do my service in the north because I want to get other field of the country. So I chose to do my service in the north. In the north, when we went, I was posted to Bole, and then from Bole to Tuna. Those of you know the northern region very well. I stayed there for 1 year doing my national service. And when I returned back to Accra, at that time my uncle has been sick and is in the hospital. So when he heard the news that Acheampong is back, he said, ask him to come and see me in the hospital. That is a message he sent to me in the house. So I gathered courage and I went to see him. When I met him, he said, "Oh, ke obale yatama officer, muyakwe officer ham." In short, what he's trying to say is, if I've come, then I should report at his office in Tama and take in charge. This was in 1994.
Okay, so Nana, I want to ask, what did you study in school?
Thank you. Those days we have a lot of things that we do. At Form 5, I did business, and accounting is my principal. So I did accounts, economics, accounting, statistics, mathematics, and the rest. And at 6th form, I studied economics, I studied accounting, and I did government as well. Yeah. So when I pick up the invitation to be in the chairman office, my presence there shocked a lot of people because I was articulated. I know the A from B. Everything you are doing, I look at it and I'm able to understand what you are doing, because by then, in terms of education, I'm higher than all the people in the place. And this work is a clearing and forwarding job. So I started working in 1994. To date, I'm still working.
Were you that strict? Because people were leaving, and then were you that strict in Acheampong? And I said, what made that proposal say be to me free?
Thank you. Truly, not too strict as such, but trying to understand the work. People feel you have seen what they do, so you become like a stumbling block on their way, because I want to understand why this blue paper instead of white paper, why this statement instead of that. And now it's like I took charge of what my uncle used to do, and I was doing it better than him.
Okay, so Nana, what will you tell my viewers right now, those working under people that are thinking their bosses are that strict and those stuff? What will you tell them now?
It's a plus for any boss who is strict, and whoever is understanding such a person must also admire the boss, because when you are able to work under such mentorship, it will help you yourself.
Wow, that's great. So continuing from there.
So from there, you move here and there. I'm now understanding the whole thing, because the whole job I didn't learn it in school, so it's like an apprenticeship type of business.
Okay.
So there we started gradually, and along the line there was an offer for me to have some a 1-month course, which is very prestige, very prestige. And that course, it is done 10 years, every 10 years, which is the custom proficiency certificate. I happened to be part of it as at 1996, after the 1998 one that they did. The next one was 1996, which is 10 years. So that catapulted me to a higher level in the company.
But so before the course, was the work paying?
The work, it is good from day one. The clearing agency job is good from day one. But I became more good when I was able to do this course and had a certificate. Now I've become a proficiency in the business. I was trained by customs. I know the customs management law. I know the tariff. I know the duty rate. I know the HS code and all the things that goes under the system.
Meaning the course you did help you. So work as learn as you work. Do you have something to say about that? Learn as you work.
It's an opportunity. If you are watching me right now and you get that opportunity, don't spare yourself or don't pull back. I've never regretted as I sit here. Until recent time that the number of people have increased, so it looks like our services is not too much of importance. But once you are a certificate holder, you are on top of all in the industry. So that is what I've done till now. I've been a clearing agent since 1994 to 2021. Through this, I've done a lot. I've mentored a lot of guys, and I've helped a lot of guys. Those in my industry, as I speak, they know me, and they know it is the truth that I'm saying. They call me Master Achi. That is the name they give me because I'm a master in my field. I was trained and I do my work with carefulness. There are a lot of people in the industry, but I am one of the best. I'm one of the best.
Nana, are you married?
Yes, of course. I've married with 3 children. They are all boys. They are all boys. And they are all doing well. Yeah. They are all doing well.
Wow. So, not taking much of your time, I would like to go for a commercial break. Acheampong, I hire RBTV. Na dwumadie yi my brabo akwento. Na dwumadie yi no one hour so yan say Max Media, Lady Rita Ministry, and Miran Radio. Max Media dwumadie bi a omohwe ICT ene ne ho niema say software, graphic designing, and as a bibi bia efa ICT ho bia no eno an say obefre Max Media. No mo contact no ene wo screen na se no. Miran Radio radio station a ewo Germany. Now so obetumi etie ewo Ghana, ewo Modern Ghana Radio, ewo iTunes so. Dia me pese me kan say uye Ghana ni ana say uye obi anase dwumekuo na se wo pese wo ton onyoma bi anase wo didwa ema wiase afana yina obetumi afre Miran Radio omo numbers ena wo screen ne so no dwumekuo so a etoso Lady Rita Ministry. Lady Rita Ministry dwumekuo bi a omo kanyame asem ena omo sanso etonyum omo nam enyum to ene ensem so kanyame asem eche wiase afana yina enunti se wo ye obi na se wo pese wo kanyame asem anase wo pese wo tonyum a obetumi contact Lady Rita Ministries no mo beboa odofo dia me pese me san kan say ufri Sprinters Ecobank ewo nungwa kwan ne so na se wo ba to nungwa Shell filling station ewo wo left no obetumi afa ho na wakwa kobu ufu wo na se o tai kra na adwo a omo behwe wo omo supermarket so ho no ma drink anase bibi biara uhia for snack bia no omo beboa na ebia udu nungwa ebia udu adogono railways no wentumi engina embushe no enkeje udu nungwa market Shell filling station eto aso ho no no so obetumi afa ho no omo ye ade ba ko na enunti dia mechewa ni se obekọ ho no for your quality services me da say Acheampong yemamu akwaba eba mabrabo akwento ewo RBTV so ye to aso Nana, for how long have you been married?
If I'm not mistaken, I should be 25 years old in marriage because my first boy is 23 and the last boy is 14, now 15.
So what is the first one?
He's in the tertiary education. This is last year. I did not be the COVID like we would have finished last year, but because of the COVID period, the course, so he is finishing.
And the second?
The second is a promising engineer in the system. Yeah.
And the third?
As for the third, he is still in the JSS level. Yeah.
So how many boys to girl? How many girls to boys?
They are all boys. You know, my name implies Owahene. Any Acheampong is called Owahene. So that is one of the things you get from me. Yes, they are all kings in making.
Nana, ye ba wa hindi so. Which I say, oh yeah, Nkosohene. Na Nkosohene no dwumadie ben na odu.
That's ansana me ba sa we no so me ko back akra na me tintin no maybe. Currently, as I sit down, I am the CEO of Acheampong and Associates. It's a clearing and forwarding company. We are based in Tama. We are handling customs clearance everywhere. Talk about import, export, transit, part cargo, bulk cargo, everything we do. We are into logistics by transport. We provide towing services. We provide busing for schools. And at the same time, CEO of Duet Pharmacy. It's a pharmacy, retail pharmacy shop that is under my feet also.
Wow.
Thank you.
So you're a business as well?
I wouldn't like to project myself that high. When you get closer, you know who I am and what you can do with me.
That's good.
Right. Back to your question of Nkosohene like the name sound, is development awareness of Apesokubi. And I am one person who love, helping. So through this helping, and I was spotted. And the work I've done before now really shows that I'm somebody who can help. And that is why now I sit and I'm given the title Nkosohene.
Okay, so can you give us, as you said, developing, can you give us something in Apesokubi that shows that?
Thank you. When I was picked, or before that, there were so many things that was on my heart. But when I was given the mantle, one of the things I realized that we need most in the community is this issue of typing and photocopy and all the IT works. Our town lacks such thing. So I provided it for the community as my first issue. Aside that, there's an old library that was dormant. I brought it back to life. Aside that, I am involved in the day-to-day lives of some of the people in the community. And then what I'm also doing is to go and support the churches also. So some of the individual churches, I'm supporting them. And I'm a kingpin in Apesokubi in worship. It's a worship program that we used to hold every year in Apesokubi. And this is a program by Nkosohene. So every year I'm a kingpin. I play my role. I make sure award goes. Last year, for instance, this year, there was an award that we give to deserving groups in Apesokubi, which is the traditional EP church, then the traditional RC church, and there's one individual who also has done a lot in Apesokubi. She's in the person of Auntie Mercy Ankra. She's the oldest nurse in Apesokubi, and where she was as at the time, she played a very vital role at Hohoi government hospital. Very, very vital. Because of that lady, when you had to go to Hohoi for hospital, there was no fear. As soon as you identify yourself as a native of Apesokubi, a lot of help comes in. So she was awarded during the worship.
So who qualifies to be in the area of leadership?
Thank you. Like you rightly said, it's about your works. If you have so much and you don't help, nobody sees you. But when you make up to help, then you are spotted. And then about 3 or 5 people are picked. And then God comes in. Because God's favor also is another thing that plays the role. So if you are the type who like giving, who like supporting, who like assisting, you can come into this office.
So how do you cope with the business and the leadership aspect?
The business has been part of me. So even if I sleep, I know what I can do. Reference to the leadership, every time I'm brainstorming, trying to get something being done and trying to ensure that something is done. And one of it is what my Nkosohene linked me to this program, because I've been bombarding her with stuff. We have a little information center in the village, so I kind of chastise her to always let her voice go to the village as Nkosohene, so that every morning, at least once a week, people hear good morning, this is your Nkosohene. So through this, I got to know of this program that I'm part now. So reference to the village, almost every week I call either the Nkosohene or Mahi himself or Bosonfo, Bamuhini. We talk just to put Apesokubi in shape.
The greatest achievement so far?
Wow! When I was able to set the ICT something for the first time in many years back, 2017 was the year that my people were able to access the BEC results in that particular time, because there was no computer, there was no knowledge of it, so everybody have to go to the next village, which is Rara, to get this. So one of the joyful and peaceful achievement was my town being able to access their results in their own land. And currently, as we speak, I'm working on getting a center. We don't have a WAEC center in our town. But meanwhile, we have 3 JHS schools. So currently, I'm working on getting a center.
What has been your greatest challenge, Nana?
My challenge has been lack of support. In the first place, I told you that my joyful project was the ICT I sent for them for the first time to be able to access BC results and print it in their hometown. Later, I felt sorry because getting personnel to mount that office was a problem. The whole town, no ITC ideology. So later, when the original guy that I took to the place to work and he finished, there was nobody to do this work. To date, we are not patronizing that thing.
Thank you, Nana. But how do we reach you if we need you in terms of business and help to your village?
Nowadays, telephone is the order of the day. But aside the telephone, I'm located at Tama Agency Block. Any agent, anyone who does import and export knows what I'm talking about. My office is located in Agency Block. So when you get there and you are able to ask of Consult and Associate, anyone who is an agent will direct you. Even if the person is not an agent and is any of the auxiliary workers, that is Gapua, Customs, the police, they know where we are all gathered. And the agency block is a place where all the agencies are gathered for the day-to-day business.
Okay, so I want you to use this platform to plead for help from my viewers and the world.
Odofo awhemi, utiefo awutie mi. So obabe mi adom. Ye person kwala no omuhu ICT in all the aspect of ICT. Nti adophobia ICT is bigu babi analysis sika bi kwa na de ba be pie echi a. Yentimi revamp that project in my school. Na yentimi nya center no so ma Apesokubi. It is long overdue. We need WAEC center in Apesokubi so that the children will also belong home and feel comfortable in whatever they do in terms of education in the WBRS.
Your last words for my viewers.
We all have to be very serious-minded people and work hard wherever we find ourselves. I wouldn't have reached this place if I was a lazy guy. I wouldn't have come this far if I'm just a doormat. 24/7 I work. I want to say shout out to my paramount chief in the person of Nana Esiedukura Okujama Obahima, who is currently not around, Nana Asinsima Acheampong, Nana Abakumahini in the person of Nana Acheampong, Nana Dente, Nana Kronti, Dr. Osafo Akwa, Oba, and I say, Ohima, and Abuamiama, and Mabidi Sajumadi, Michel Bibira Apesokubi, Asofo Jenny, all the rest of the Christian Council, good work. And I'm a banker, has also there, then I'm a Juma Yafo, no Fanum, me aunties. The greatest among them is my uncle St. Kwashi, but he did all for me. A big salute, uncle. And then to my wife and my children. My children, Richie, Mike, and Grandpa. My personal phone number is 0244 658591.
Thank you for your time, Nana. It's been nice having you today, and we have really learned a lot. And then we hope that everything you are saying here will go on well with your village and everything concerning the development in your village. Thank you. This is how far the Lord has brought us in another edition of my Brabo Aquento. And like I always say, this is RBTV and my name is KofiSeth. Just like I always say, my Brabo Aquento is sponsored by Max Media, Lady Rita Ministry and Miran Radio. Na senya endemi kache ono se uye driver ni ana se uchika ma ure mfi se obekọ Nungwa market honomu Shell filling station na wo honomu. They will watch you, they will give you your quality and then affordable fuels. And say ukano and na enja unsi kwemu with the nasibebre ebekọ amami crew eye perfect or direct here any events ocha fonino eye mitre DOP Evans and perfect. Yamika ina ni say Nyaminshaw. Nyaminshaw wo so a wo hwe ende na minim say ende yesua ade bebre. Da sende ye be hia. Na mom hia me joint no na me director say one me kwa akodi fufu. Nti ye be hia da sende. Bye bye.